Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
This seems to be happening to me with more regularity. At my age, getting lucky means walking into a room and remembering what I came in there for. Happened yesterday. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Good morning, morning. I love that. Voice is just tremendous. Powerful, dynamic voice of Kate Smith. Thank you very much. God bless America. I'm Zeb Bell at Zeb at the Ranch, and of course our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Get on the route service 734-6969. Right now we're going to go to the phone line. We have a dear friend, CPA Lyden Crane, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, Lyden.
Good morning, Zeb.
If you would, please, sir.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lyden, it means a lot to you and your family, and I certainly appreciate it. Any thoughts quickly before we go to the weather?
No, I just wish everybody a great day and ask that God would bless our great country.
There is a resounding amen to that, and I appreciate your calling for the Pledge of Allegiance. Don't make yourself a stranger. You did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Nice man right there, Lyden Crane. Appreciate him very, very much. Time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Yes, it is 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Number to call 678-6945. Look for that blue door. All your carpet and flooring and kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home. And Whitney always sends over some little decorating tips, and here's one that I thought was kind of an interesting one. Empty mason jars lying around, paint them with chalk paint and add some string or twine to make cute little storage for your counters. There you go, from Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for this fine Thursday morning, and thankfully, it doesn't look like there's going to be any snow showers in the forecast, at least through today and the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies for today, high of 24, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. We are looking at an overnight low of 15, high of 24 for today. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, high of 24, overnight low of 10. As we get into the weekend, mostly cloudy skies, highs are going to be in the low 20s, lows are going to be in the single digits, and as we get back to work on Monday, mostly sunny skies and 27. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Atta girl, Gina, thank you so much. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Whatever you need to make your house a home. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Merv May, let's sell some cattle. Come on in here.
All right.
right, it gets the steer calves there, here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 30.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy. The sale that works for you. Sale time today at 10:30. Here's just some of the run that's going through the ring today. And Skip Owens over to Glens Ferry, bringing down 2 semi-loads of ripping good 700 to 850-pound steers and heifers. From out of Rupert, more good cattle. Carl and Earl Claybill. Hello, Claybill family. How are you? 100 head of 550 to 600-pound calves. Jared Udy over to Smithfield, Utah, is bringing in 100 head of mixed calves and yearlings. And Glenn Shank over at Rupert, bringing in 27 head of mixed calves, 550 to 800-pounders, along with all the trailer line run. Going to be a good sale at the Burley Livestock Sale at 10:30 this morning at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. 678-9411. Merv, let's sell those steers.
All right, it gets the steer calves there, here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, 1.5, selling $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
I don't mind those prices at all compared to years gone by. Oh, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget our dear friends over at Ramsey Heating and Electric. We're going to be talking to Rita later on this morning. It's Thursday. And, of course, you stop in for all your heating and electrical needs at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Now, the temperatures, as you noticed, are dipping again, with highs only going to be in the mid-20s. So that means cold, chilly mornings. Make sure everything's working good with your furnace. Check out the air filters to keep everything running efficiently for that furnace at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call 678-0459. And they, of course, provide warm winters and cool summers. Bradley Manning, the transgender, and it was really kind of funny. The other day I had a call and they said, well, you're calling him by the wrong name. No, I'm not calling him by the wrong name. I refuse, and I want to make this point emphatically clear. I refuse to alter the news or the press or the circumstances of a story to basically honor a transgender's chosen name. I'm not going to do it. He committed the crime of being a traitor under the name of Bradley Manning, and that's how he's going to stay. Okay? Let's get that clear right now. He had his sentence of 30-plus years commuted by Obama. Well, did you hear what Bradley Manning just did yesterday? He turned around and criticized the man that had freed him, and in tweets he said Obama was a very weak president. I mean, yes, I agree that Obama was a weak president, but here's this guy, this traitor, that honestly should have been shot. He gets commuted on his sentence from prison by Obama, and then he turns around and calls him a weak president. The left turns around and bites their own. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You want to do yourself a favor today? I urge you to get into Denny's restaurant at 611 Overland in Burley. Right now, just jump in the four-wheel wander and drive over there, sit down at the table and say, oh, I want one of those delicious, sizzling skillet meals or a buttermilk pancake breakfast. Oh, my. Everything is delicious, breakfast, lunch, or dinner at America's Diner. Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley and 291 Poline Road in Twin Falls. Yep, it's great at Denny's Restaurant. By the way, I want to kind of salve the wound of some people. And they're dear friends of ours. A lot of people felt really, really bad that we had to cancel the last lunch bunch because of weather conditions. I sincerely took it on my shoulders. I apologize for anybody missing out on the fun, me included. But we will definitely have a huge lunch bunch coming up in February. But bear with us. I did not want to cancel it, but I thought for safety's sake, and the north side over there was really getting hammered that day, we were going to have lunch bunch. I would have trouble getting down there to Burley and then back to the doctor in Twin, and so we made that decision. But for all of you, lunch bunch is not being diminished in any way, shape, or form. I promise. I promise. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yes, I'm just absolutely surprised, and happily so, of the whirlwind of activity that's taking place in the Oval Office with all the decrees, the executive orders, and the political business that's being addressed. Honestly, I know a lot of people out there that are of liberal descent. They're going, oh, that Trump! Well, you go ahead and tear your hair out. I'm seeing something that should have been seen for a long time, and we haven't. And that is a president that is doing something, going forward instead of taking 2 steps back. Good for us yesterday, the United States. Good for Israel yesterday. Good for Trump, President Trump. He and the State Department, and listen carefully to this, they put a freeze hold on the $221 million that Obama wanted to send to the Palestinians. Now just think about that for just a couple of seconds. Obama wanted to send $221 million to the Palestinians, arch enemy of Israel. I'm glad they put a hold on it. I'm glad the money is frozen, can't go over there. You know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to really realize that $221 million very easily and very possibly would end up in the hands of the terrorist killing machine, Hamas. So I'm really glad that money has been frozen. I'm going to talk to you about a subject in just a moment that is very, very important to me, and it should be important to you, so stand by for that, please. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And the number is 678-1191. I've said this for a long time. Nick Greenwell, the head physical therapist, and all the physical therapists there, they are absolutely excellent, knowledgeable, very, very good. They know all the exercises. They have the hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind in the area, helping you get back to being you. Don't put it off. Call them today for an appointment at 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Burley. Excellent. Also, excellent equipment. And they have all the equipment to get the job done right at Berry Equipment and Rental. Hello, Berries. I mean, great people, and they're located on South Lincoln and Jerome. Excuse me, got that frog in my throat again. And, of course, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Yes, sirree. And they, like they told me to say yesterday, they are thinking spring. They are thinking grass growing. They are thinking grass being mowed. And so they want you to get your spring orders in for a Walker mower. 0% interest for 48 months. Hey, this is what the pros use. Those Walker mowers at Berry Equipment and Rental, Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They do have the equipment to get the job done right. I really want your comments. Excuse me, that frog will not jump back in the swamp. Yesterday, President Trump came out on camera and said what has needed, and these are my words, not his, not the administration. He said what is needed to be said for a long time. If we have in custody, and we have captured a terrorist that definitely has the information of a possible and very prominent attack on us, the United States, or anyone else, we should get the information from whatever needs or sources necessary. Absolutely. Enhanced interrogation. Now, I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to say that when we talked about this last, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, with the Obama administration, I took a lot of heat from the liberals, a lot of them from Sun Valley. I mean, I got emails galore. They don't like me up there very much. And they said, how dare you? How can you call yourself a Christian? How can you call yourself any kind of a civilized person if you resort to torture tactics to get information? And I'm going to draw a line in the sand here. And I want to see how many people agree with me. There will be those that won't. That's fine. But, you know, I've said this before on this program, and I think it bears saying again. If your wife or your husband or your children or your grandchildren were in the custody of terrorists, and there was going to be a major blow-up or some very devastating thing happen, would you just sit back and say, oh, well, I can't do anything because I don't believe in enhanced interrogation? I will say from my standpoint, with as much as I love my kids, my family, my wife, my friends, my neighbors, if I were a member of the info team for our government, I guarantee you I would resort to any, and I underline that, any means necessary to get that information from that absolutely worthless terrorist to protect the lives of innocents that are family members, friends, or citizens of the United States. And I wonder how many of these bleeding heart liberals saying, oh, we can't do that. Why, you can't resort to that. That's beneath us. I wonder really how many of you put in that circumstance wouldn't do whatever means necessary to get that information. Don't play do-gooder with me, please. I wonder what you really would do. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, don't be a chicken. Give me a call. I want to hear your opinion on this. Really, I salute the Trump administration for being very open and honest about this. It's high time we thought of protecting our people first. Don't forget Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup. That lady knows so much about sound and hearing and what causes a lack of hearing. And Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids is the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho. Number to call for an appointment to have a hearing screening, 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. They're located across from Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Caller, good morning. Thank you for having the courage to call.
Good morning, Zeb Bell.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, if I was in that situation, I'm like you. I would do whatever it took. The life and well-being of the terrorists that was threatening my loved ones wouldn't mean a thing to me.
Well, I draw the line when loved ones, family members, United States citizens, or absolutely anybody that's put in a very dangerous, death-threatening situation by terrorists that want to do nothing more than kill. They get up in the morning with no other thought about how they can design different things to kill, maim, and destroy. Like you said, I'll use your words, at that juncture, their lives mean nothing to me, and I agree with you.
Yeah, at that point, they ain't even human. They're just rabid animals.
I've got quite a few calls coming in, sir. I know where you stand, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your call this morning.
Okay, I'll catch you later.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I would do anything that would get the message out of them. I don't care what it is.
You know, Jerry, I have known you for a long, long time, and you are a very human-oriented person. And when I say that, you're always thinking about what you can do to help others and aid and assist others. And I really respect you for saying this, because I know your family is so absolutely important to you, and it is to me. And if anyone, I don't care who they are, makes a threat or there's an acknowledgement that there might be some act against my family and friends, and for that matter, like I said, citizens of this country, the door is open to any use to get that information. I don't care what it is.
And I agree. And, you know, they're out to do far worse than that little bit of torture.
That's right. That's right.
They're going to maim, destroy, corrupt. You know, they're kind of like the Democratic Party. They're just rotten.
Well, that kind of sums it up. I appreciate your thoughts on this, Jerry. Thank you so much, and the very best to you, sir. God bless you for your call. You're always welcome. Thank you.
You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless.
Thank you. You take somebody like that revolting Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, sitting there smirking. He was the designer of 911. Oh, I guarantee you. You people in the audience, and they're out there. They're out there. When I talked about this the last time, I remember vividly the unknown name, unknown number calls. What are you talking about? You call yourself a Christian, blah, 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 blather, blather, blather. And then the emails that came in and condemned me for being an animal with my thoughts and everything. Go ahead. I can take it. But I would like to turn the tables on you. And it's your wife or husband or children, like I said a few minutes ago. Do you mean to tell me that you're such a Sally do-gooder that you're going to sit back and just say, oh, well, let it happen? In that case, I'm going to just blatantly say, you're a liar. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Tell me your thoughts, please. While I'm waiting, don't forget Mini-Cash Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley. If you need an overhead door, stop into Mini-Cash Sales and look at all the different overhead doors that they have and that they can get for you. I'm telling you, they are just they've got everything over there. I mean, they got the overhead doors, they've got all the Great Western windows, they've got carpeting, they've got flooring, they've got the Tartar Farm and Ranch gates and panels. Holy cow. It's all there with Zach and the crew. And they sponsor Dr. History on Tuesdays at 10:06. God bless them. Good folks over there at Mini-Cash Sales. Stop in and see them right across from the airport today, or give them a call, 878-2091. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. We had two brave souls call in. Let's have some more. Give me a jingle, please, on that issue with... I respect Trump for coming out. I mean, holy cow, he has been besieged in the last couple of days since he took office, with the left that are tearing their hair out, gnashing their teeth, flexing their knuckles, on their knees going, oh no, liberalism might be on the wane. I hope so. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a jingle. I want to hear from you. Columnist Liz Peek. I've read some of her work in various newspapers, syndicated columnist, and she was on television this morning, and she said, and I agree with her, that the left-wing women's marches last week, and I'm paraphrasing, this isn't a direct quote, I want you to know that, She said about those women's marches, they were basically a waste of time, a waste of resources, and quite frankly, just kind of dumb. And she said women on the left are misinformed. Listen carefully to what she did say. And again, I'm paraphrasing. You can read the direct comments. They're in the news. She said women on the left are misinformed and being misled by false stories from Hillary Clinton and other members of the left that have told them and told them and told them that Donald Trump, is going to try to move the women and their rights and their equality into the dark ages. Well, that glass cup doesn't hold any water, if you will. When you really start looking at this thing, I mean, look at Kellyanne Conway and all the women that have been appointed to various high positions with Donald Trump. And the equality, or even more so in pay, the opportunities that are there. But the left, they've got to sow these seeds of discord and, quite frankly, lies. And this Liz Peek wrote a very interesting article about this and said, again, that the left-wing women's liberal march are basically a waste of time. And by misinformed women. Calls are welcome, 43622. You're leaving me hang this morning, all on that limb by myself. I love talking to folks. Give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, I've got to get this in here real quick. You've heard it already on the news this morning. Mary Tyler Moore, the woman with the perpetual smile. I mean, she was always smiling. She passed away yesterday at the age of 80. And I feel kind of a bond to her program that she had, the Mary Tyler Moore program. If you'll think back, for all of us oldies that can remember that program, you know, Mary Tyler Moore, when she was walking in the beginning credits, you know, where they were saying produced by, directed by, and everything, she was walking by a large body of water. Well, that was filmed back in Minneapolis, Minnesota, right next to and on the shores of the walkway around Lake Calhoun. And that's where I went to college, and I spent way too much time out at Lake Calhoun. So very familiar to me and the opening of that show. But then, of course, Mary Tyler Moore, previous to that, as the wife on the Dick Van Dyke Show, she was quite a comedian, and I really enjoyed her work. And I just, the world's a little bit less today because of her passing. She was absolutely excellent, Mary Tyler Moore. All right, come on, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle. We are very blessed to have in this area Snake River Auto Body and Paint at 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. Kenny and Dan, the whole crew, my goodness, they are good. Now, I say this because I know this. I've taken my vehicle a couple of times when we've had some dings and dents and scratches. We've taken it in there to Snake River Auto Body and Paint. Oh, they are good. Absolutely. They accept all insurances, and they give you an estimate and schedule for repair. And believe me, they do the job the way it should be done. Great. Snake River Auto Body and Paint, 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. Number to call, 734-5790. Call them. Okay, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear about Madeleine Albright? And I'm not sure she is Albright. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, and this is a plot, I honestly think it is. I think it's a clandestine plot by the left and members of the left that have formerly been in politics or are currently in politics to build up and enhance Muslims and Islam in particular in the United States. Well, here's what she's going to do, she says. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright claimed yesterday she would register herself as a Muslim as an act of defiance against President Donald Trump's immigration plans. What? She was raised a Catholic, became Episcopalian, and then found out later that her family was Jewish. This is something that really bothers me. She found out later that her family was Jewish? There's a real close-knit family. And she says, I stand ready to register as a Muslim in solidarity. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Now, first of all, there has been no talk about registering. Nothing. But some of these people, Trump is reported to be planning to sign executive orders to temporarily prohibit immigration from several Muslim-majority countries. There are 6 countries they're talking about that are considered terrorist hotbeds. And I think that's a good thing. What about you? Are you against this? Oh, we should let anybody and everybody in. Oh, they're all nice people. No, they're not. But I see this as a trend, and Madeleine Albright, while she was campaigning for Hillary Clinton during the 2016 Democratic presidential primary, she said, quote, there was a special place in hell for women who did not vote for the eventual party nominee, Hillary Clinton. So anybody that voted anywhere else or for anybody else other than Hillary, Madeleine Albright, the Queen, evidently, said there is a special place in hell for them. And then she, during the general election, called Donald Trump a useful idiot for Russia. Ah, there's a gal we can be really proud of, Madeleine Albright from the Clinton administration. Sharp lady. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And we'd love to hear from you, so give us a jingle on the landline, and we'll put you on the air with your thoughts this morning. Sally Boynton Brown. I'm chuckling. And yes, I am kind of laughing at her. She is the executive director of the Democratic Party here in the state of Idaho. And she's trying to get that director job for the DNC. She's become a laughingstock, and very unfortunately has also made Idaho a laughingstock for some of her very stupid, frivolous comments that she made the other night. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, I was just going to go ahead and add to that about her. She was truly, I've called in and rambled in the past.
Are you kidding me? I can't believe that.
You have so many thoughts on your mind, and you're trying to somehow get it all said, and then it doesn't actually work too well. So, but at least I realize it. I don't know that she did or does, and somehow her shrill approach is not, I don't know. I just know this. If you're a Democrat and you think that you're in some sort of a position of an influence, you are sadly mistaken. And across this nation, people realize that government can actually function in an efficient way. And what is today? It's Monday was the first day. Today is Thursday morning, and I'm telling you, we're at breakneck pace here. Yesterday morning, Fox and Friends or whoever it was on it very early, and they said they had seen that the kitchen light was on in the White House.
Yeah.
And they said, if that's you, President Trump, flash the light.
Yep.
And he was flashing the light, and I guess they said that he was in there fixing his own food because nobody else was up.
He's an
Energizer bunny. He's as determined as he's ever been, and he'll be congenial to you, but when it comes to business, you're either going to get it done or he's going to find somebody who will.
You know, I want
to. These 23 countries that are trying to say you can't send those illegal aliens, those criminals back. I'm going, well, that's a joke. This won't last long. They will be deported.
You know, let me expand on that just a little bit, Randy, please. You know, there's been a lot of conversation about the countries won't take them back, and if they land at the airport, they're going to be put on another plane, or they can jump on another plane and literally turn around and come back like a yo-yo right back to us. I've got a different concept on this. I think that, quite frankly, we should circle the airport at 20,000 feet and then open the door, and each of them has a parachute, and then push them out the door. That's the best way in case they will not accept the plane when it lands.
Well, this is the thing. If you run any of these federal agencies and you are in some attempt to defy the president's will, can you imagine being taken in to the office and talking to in a very civil manner, you know, but it doesn't matter. I can be as nice to you as I need to, but the words that are coming out of my mouth can be said in a very civil way, but they can mean everything.
Yep.
So this is the thing. Mr. Trump is not going to allow people to go rogue. This is the way it's going to be. You know, there's no question that this is, like I said before, this is going to set communism, environmentalism, liberalism back to the 40s.
Oh, I love it.
I'm telling you.
I love it.
These people are in a panic, and there's not a thing they can do.
Yeah.
And who is going to defy this man's will? I don't see how it can be done.
Well, let me ask you a quick question here, Randy. Let me ask you a quick question, because I got to get a weather forecast on, and then I got some other calls. But going back to Sally Boynton Brown, Idaho is so proud of her. When she made the comment the other night, and this comment made me the maddest of the things that she said that were really not very intelligent. She said, if she is the Democratic National Chairperson, she said that she will make sure that white people get it, that they have privilege. Now, I don't know if that offends you, but it made me fighting mad. I've worked hard all my life to get what I have. Nobody gave it to me. I don't see the word privilege hanging above my door. Doesn't that offend you?
Oh, she's truly unhinged and delusional. And then she said she was to shut whites down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the context, what she said really didn't even actually make any sense.
But did you see who was sitting behind her on that stage? To her left, our right on screen, was the absolute flag bearer for liberalism, and that was Jammu Green. And she was smiling and applauding and cheering her on. And I thought, ay, what a possible leader of the Democratic Party. That's sickening.
It's unbelievable. You know, if you go to CNN or MSNBC and you see, or even public TV, whatever it's called, and you watch them talk, they think that they actually are influencing somebody.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I guess you just go ahead and, you know, it's such a habit to do what you've always done. But these people think that they're actually, they think they're going to advise Mr. Donald, our President Trump, on what to do and how to say it. I mean, he has rewritten the book about how to approach politics, and he is currently rewriting the book on how to run a government.
Well, I tell you what, Randy, I really appreciate your call. And in your particular case, I want you to know that about a year ago, we stopped using the clock on our conversations with you, and we went to an hourglass. So you're safe.
Well, listen, I realize that mostly this is therapeutic. You see, I get it off my chest. It makes me feel better. I am courageous enough to call in.
Absolutely.
Fear
Absolutely.
that you might not get it said the way you want to.
No, I appreciate your call.
Opportunity, but please do not be fearful of calling in. We want to hear everybody's voice.
Amen.
Don't be shy. Listen, I have made a complete fool of myself on this program in the past, and I just went ahead and came back.
Yep.
And you see what? One day you actually learn how to do it.
You're doing a good job. Don't you ever apologize. But if we can't have a sense of humor about it, woe betide us. God bless you, man. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Sally Boynton Brown. I'm going to be trying to get her on the air. I mean, I got to be fair. I've got to be fair. I want to try to get her on the air and very nicely ask her about the format and the platform and everything, but absolutely try to figure out how come white people in general with her statement get it that we have privilege. Caller, I'm going to ask your patience. Please stay there. I've got a quick 60-second weather forecast, and I'll be right with you. I promise. Don't go away. I want to hear what you have to say. Weather brought to you this hour by Riverview Urgent Care, 382 North Overland and Burley. Twin Falls Urgent Care, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin, and Jerome Urgent Care, 133 West Avenue Way in Jerome. Open 7 days a week, and believe me, whether you need some stitches or you got a sinus infection or a cough or a fever, whatever, they can help because minor emergencies, major care at the urgent cares. Right now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for this fine Thursday morning. And thankfully, it doesn't look like there's going to be any snow showers in the forecast, at least through today and the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies for today, high of 24, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. We are looking at an overnight low of 15, high of 24 for today. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, high of 24, overnight low of 10. As we get into the weekend, mostly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be in the low 20s. Lows are going to be in the single digits. And as we get back to work on Monday, mostly sunny skies and 27. That is your weather for Zebeth Ranch.
No snow. How in the world are we ever going to survive? Oh, I can't wait to have a couple of days without having to... And never mind. Good weather forecast. Thank you, Gina. And brought to you by the Urgent Cares. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care, Twin Falls, Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. The best. Minor emergencies, major care. Caller, thank you for your patience. Good morning.
Oh, you're certainly welcome. You know, there's a perfect movie that's coming out. It's got all the global awards and so forth, called La La Land, because all these people, Democrats, liberals, socialists, whatever, they're all in La La Land, that's for sure. But I just wanted to bring out something, Zeb, that's important to our growers here that grow sugar beets. You know, their contract price has been going down, down, down. And there's a good reason for it. The new Sugar Producer magazine from the executive vice president, Luther Marquardt, Mexico continues to subsidize and dump sugar into the U.S. market under the existing suspension agreements. And what they're doing, they're oversupplying the U.S. market by 254,000 tons of sugar. And, of course, we had a huge crop this year. Probably Idaho had the biggest crop. This can only be resolved, and I'm reading right out of the article, by the U.S. and Mexican governments modifying the suspension agreements. Our industry's been pressing very hard. And, of course, he said, we want a NAFTA that works in a manner that balances the market to provide adequate returns to our growers and, of course, no cost to the American taxpayers. And Trump has got that on his list. And so Mexico is making the claim that, you know, building a wall and modifying NAFTA is going to be bad for our country. Are you give me a break?
Yeah.
You know, this was the Fox, I guess, was on one of the shows, and I mean, it's just goes on and on and on that they are not only dumping their people in here, but they're dumping their sugar, and this is costing our producers here. We're getting down to the production level, so they can't hardly make any money. And so NAFTA needs to be fixed. Before NAFTA, we had no trade imbalance with Mexico, and now it's I don't know, 60, 70, 80 billion. Between Canada and Mexico is about 150 billion.
Well, Adrian, let me jump in here. Adrian, let me jump in here for a minute. I think what we're seeing, and I want a short response on this because I got to give time for the other callers too, but what we're seeing now are a lot of the countries, i.e. Mexico or whomever, that have literally bullied and made America kowtow to their whims. Now there's a new sheriff in town that has hung his badge on his chest and said, wait a minute, America first. You get back in line and we'll deal with you accordingly. I think that they're not used to this treatment. They're used to telling us what to do. And boy, is this going to be a neat deal for quite a while.
Making everybody mad. And of course, one other comment, the leader of the Women's March, of course, was a Muslim lady that wants Sharia law in here. Yeah. She was the one that was the head person at the Women's March. And don't think that, and of course, CARE came out, and they're protesting and so forth. But believe me, I hope we stop all of this Muslim immigration because these people want to overpopulate us one way or the other.
Yeah.
Bring in Sharia law, do away with the Constitution, chop our heads off if we don't comply with them.
I agree.
That's the whole modus operandi has been for 1,400 years.
I agree.
Wake up. It's a theocracy, not a religion, hiding behind religion. So all of you Christians out there thinking we're not being benevolent, these people are not ever going to convert to be Christians. They're not Christians, and you can't mix Islam and Christianity, and they call it Chrislam. It can't happen.
That's exactly right. I got to run, Adrian. I got another call, but I do appreciate your points right there because I think they're excellent. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Be praying for Trump because I'm sure they're going to try and take him out one way or another.
I appreciate that.
Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, well, Sunshine Superman, how are you?
I'm not doing a good job today. Sure ain't shining.
I was looking for it up there in the clouds, but all I see is a whole bunch of clouds.
Hey, I've been with customers and on the phone most of the morning and catching just bits and pieces. And I love what Trump's doing, and I love what he done to Mexico when they said, we're not going to pay for it. And he said, well, then you just don't come visit me.
Yeah.
And it's, like you say, it's taking them back because they've never been treated like that.
Well, Doug, I just said a minute ago, I want you to elaborate on this point that I made a minute ago, and I think I'm right, but I want to hear your stand. All the years that Obama was in office, it was we're sorry. We're sorry if we offended you, and a bowing and a kowtowing to these other nations. But you know what? That's got to stop, and it is stopping right now. And these other nations, starting with Mexico and many, many others, they don't know how to handle the situation to where we're not going to bow and kowtow to them anymore. And they're taken aback, and they're going, whoa, what's happening here?
Exactly. Just like at the election, took the liberals back going, whoa, what's happening here?
And it's about time. It's about time.
Should have been there all the time.
Absolutely. Real quick, I made quite a deal last half hour about Trump and the enhanced interrogation. I've talked about it before, but I said it's about time, past time, that the bleeding heart liberals, they fade back into the obscurity horizon, and we'll get the information any way necessary to protect us, our families, and the world.
That's very true. There's, heaven forbid that some liberal, a family member, is caught and held for ransom, and he's having to deal with the person that's doing it. Yeah. I pray that never happens. But I'll guarantee you, they would sing a different song.
Oh, they'd go through the entire hymn book.
So anyway, and I want to beat the drum real quick for our senior centers.
Okay.
Please remember them. If you can make a monetary donation, do that. If you're a dairy or a feedlot out there and you've got some killer cows and you want to help the seniors out, donate a cow to a senior center.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Let's feed it forward because Zeb and I are getting pretty close to needing their help.
so we want it there when we get there.
I think I'm a tad bit or maybe even a larger tad bit than you are as far as age. So there we go. Hey, God bless you, man. Thanks for your call.
God bless you.
All right, take care. Don't forget our major sponsor, and that's, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations. Yep, they're at work right now, and they're serving you with the best of snow and ice and muck and yuck tires. Get you through. Traction tires for safer winter driving. And, of course, all the tire chains. And, of course, all the batteries. And if you haven't had your battery checked, do so. We've got some cold days ahead. So please check that out. And then also front end alignment, shocks and struts, and brake service. Want to tell you they've got the best in brake service. Stop over and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Thank you for all your calls. Thank you for your comments. Coming up next hour, the Chamber Report, Dog Nation, Rita Ramsey. We've got all kinds of good things. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Don't go away.
Women's Seminar and Expo, but we're going big this year, and that will be April 13th. So I know it's a little ways away, but we just want to let people know because we are already getting calls for people who want to have a booth. And last year we had over 51 vendors. This year we're going to try to squeeze in a few more over there at the Burley Inn and Convention Center. And our keynote speaker this year is going to be Idaho Supreme Court Justice Robin Brody. We also have a comedian coming in from the Portland area. She's known as Susan Rice. And we're going to have some other folks doing some amazing things at the Women's Seminar and Expo. So if you'd like to be a vendor, we're just letting folks know now. Give us a call here at the Chamber because it's going to fill up fast.
You know, you are doing a great job over there at the Chamber of Commerce, and nice people over there. And along with that Women's Seminar, can you believe that it's almost February already? And now I'm sure you're talking about a lot of different spring projects coming up too, right?
We are. We've got lots of seminars that we'll be offering to the community and to businesses for their employees, or if you just would like to take one of them. Those are going to be available on our website, so be sure to check it out. That's the easiest way so I don't run through all 20 of them here on the air. But if you just want to check out minnicajachamber.com, those will be posted as we get them up in the months to come. We also have the small business seminars, and this is going to be an exciting opportunity for someone out there who has maybe this business idea that they've been tooling around with for years, or it just came to you, and you've got it on the paper napkin. We want you to come to the small business seminars. They'll be offered once a month, and see if you want to enter a contest later in the year to maybe have your offer considered for some sort of funding or a partnership in funding. And this can also go to existing businesses who maybe have an idea to expand their product line or expand their business. You're welcome as well. So I'll be talking about that here in the next couple of weeks. But very exciting stuff that we've got planned as we get into winter and spring here.
Let me ask you a question real quick about these small business seminars. What basically are they going to be talking about? I mean, let's be a little bit more specific about that.
Absolutely. So they're just 1 to 2 hours long, and you would show up here at the Chamber. If you're a Chamber member, it's free to come to. If you're not a Chamber member, they are asking for $20. We will hand you a packet of the contest rules. There will be someone here who you can consult with to say, hey, is this idea a good business idea? What else would I need for a business proposal? Because ultimately to enter the contest, you will have to write out something that is an honest-to-goodness business proposal in terms of how you want to market your product, what the audience is, who the market is aimed at, etc. And so the small business seminars are really aimed at just kind of giving that one-on-one information to people to go ahead and get that information that they need to enter the contest correctly.
Absolutely. What about business coming into the area, Kyla? Are you seeing an increase in interest? What's going on over there as far as you at the Chamber knowing and following up on new businesses that want to come in here?
You want the inside scoop, do you now?
I do.
I would say this. Everyone knows that this is a beautiful place to live. And I think a lot of businesses, obviously, in the last several years have recognized it's just an ideal geographic location. And so I can tell you right now that there are still lots and lots of businesses that are taking a hard look over here at both Minidoka and Cassia counties. And it just takes a little bit of time. They have business plans. They want to make sure it fits their business model with what the costs are going to be to come in, et cetera. But I would say definitely in the next several months, I'm sure that people in the correct municipalities will be making announcements again. And that's going to be really exciting for all of us.
Well, you do a wonderful job, and all the folks over there at the Chamber. And we got just enough time to highlight that gift store, that gift shop, and all the goodies in there. Go ahead and give that a plug.
Oh, sure. So the Visitor Center is open Monday through Friday, typically from 9 to 5. When we get towards the summer, we are going to take a look at expanding that on Saturdays for sure. And we have just all sorts of made-in-Idaho products. We have wonderful local books as well as Idaho books that you should come and check out. And just all sorts of candy, and there's lots of good treats, lots of made-in-Idaho products that are wonderful for gifts, especially for friends or relatives or for people that you might know that are missing Idaho quite a bit. You can send them a lovely gift package. So just be sure to stop by here at our Chamber Visitor Center, and we'd love to see you. And we're located right here in Hayburn on 7th Street.
All right. Kyle over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, always a very nice lady to talk to. God bless and have a wonderful week.
You too, Zeb. Take care. Good luck with your computer.
I'm not computer literate, let me tell you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zeb. We'll talk to you soon.
I got to tell you that, thank you, Kyla, that while she was talking, I hit some different positions on my computer screen, all of which I thought might start sending missiles to Paul, Idaho or something. I wasn't sure. And it came back. Everything's working and functioning properly. Now, if someone were to ask me, well, what did you do to correct the problem? I don't know, but I just started punching things, and it came back. There we go. I'm happy about that. Don't forget our dear friends at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward, his family, and staff, and with very flexible hours to serve your family when there's the passing of a loved one. And they can and will travel to rural towns and churches to help you with all the arrangements. Absolutely. And you know, the one thing I'm really impressed with is they're always upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity to serve you and your family. All you have to do is call them at 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Very nice people. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I got to get this on right now so I don't forget. The Relay for Life kickoff is going to be tonight, January 26th, at the Burley Methodist Church at 450 East 27th Street in Burley, naturally. And once again, that's going to be tonight at 6 to 8 p.m., the Relay for Life kickoff. And at the Burley Methodist Church, everybody try to be there, please. While we have just a moment, I also want to mention to you that Ag Express, yes, sirree, Bubby, they are looking for drivers, full and part-time drivers, and even retired folks are welcome. And they'll work around your schedule 2 or 3 days a week, whatever works best for you. And you're home every night. That's a blessing. And vacations, listen to this, 1 week vacation after 6 months or 2 weeks after 1 year. You can't beat that with a stick. That's absolutely great. And a lot of benefits. You better give them a call today. Dale and Paul at 438-8886. Alan in Twin Falls, 731-2495, and Chad in Burley, 670-7219. Ag Express, looking for drivers. Really good folks. I've got time for a call or two, so give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This has not happened here, to my knowledge, but it has happened in Indiana and Kentucky at the Chili's restaurant. Now, first of all, I want to say this. When I think something is wrong or something is not being done right, I do not care who it is or what business it is. We're going to highlight it on this program. I'm not going to run and hide and say, oh, gee, I better not say that. They might stop this or they might not advertise or whatever. No, we're going to be honest on this program. But in Kentucky and Indiana, it was brought out this morning that the Chili's restaurants in those two states, and also this occurred in California, have joined with Planned Parenthood to help raise funds for Planned Parenthood. And I guess Chili's is going to donate 15% of the pre-tax meal purchase to benefit the abortion corporation Planned Parenthood. And I'm doing a little bit more research on this, a little bit more investigative study, and I'm going to find out more because if they need to be hammered like a nail over this, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm not saying that the Chili's in Twin Falls or the state of Idaho is anything to do with this, but they did find out that they were tied to Planned Parenthood in the states of Indiana and Kentucky. And if you're like I am against Planned Parenthood, we will find out more about that story. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, the angel dandruff that has fallen from the heavens is very much appreciated by the snowmobilers, the skiers, and everything. Oh, they're loving this, I'll tell you what. Well, you know what? You can't blame them. It's a great year for a brand new snow machine from Let's Ride. Oh, my goodness sakes, they've got a whole bunch over there. And they've got the timber sled system, you know, that's the snow bike conversion kit, and all the accessories and a fantastic service department. I gotta tell you, folks, I thank the good Lord above that I listened to my lovely wife when she said, you better get a snowplow for that four-wheeler. I got a feeling you're going to need it. And I hemmed and I hawed. And finally, because of about a foot of snow out there, I said, you know what, dear, you're right. And I got that snowmobile, I should say I got that snowplow from Let's Ride. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Absolutely great. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 5. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. You know, I love that thing. I've been, actually, I got to be honest with you, I've been looking for excuses to go out and start it up, crank it up, and go. However, I have hit a couple things that were buried in the snow, and I called Nick one time and I said, hey, Nick, wow, tough are those things. I hit this, that, and the other. He said, oh, you're fine, you're fine. Anyway, while you're over in the Rupert area, don't forget, to call our dear friends, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Now, all of us need to think about our protection, our families, our business, etc. Well, life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more with people that are really dedicated and responsive to your needs. Very thoughtful. The professionals at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Highway 24 in Rupert. And the number to call, 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. You call them today. Oh, my goodness, we got a whole bunch of things going on here this morning. And don't forget, next hour, we're going to have Cassia County School Days, and we're going to have our business salute. Oh, my goodness. Right now, where in the world did all these dogs come from anyway?
Let the dogs out! Let the dogs out!
Oh, my goodness sakes, it's time for Minidoka Animal Control and Officer Extraordinaire Ken Mort. Good morning, Kenneth.
Good morning, Zeb.
I thought for a minute you weren't there.
Oh, no, we was here, and the headphones come unplugged.
Well, that's a terrible tragedy when you become unplugged.
I hear you there.
What's going on in the world of Gravy Train?
Well, we don't have anybody to feature today, so I wanted to talk again about our Dessert for Dogs event that's coming up in 2 weeks.
Okay.
On February 9th at the historic Wilson Theater from 6:30 to 8:30 that evening. We have been getting some pretty good turnout for. We've gotten 7 businesses so far that have signed up to enter their favorite desserts. We've gotten probably 5 or 6 private individuals that have signed up. I mean, we're really cruising along. So if there's anybody out there that's wanting to enter their dessert, their favorite dessert that they make into our competition that we've got going on, they can contact me at 670-7268, and we will definitely get them signed up. It doesn't cost them anything to sign up for the competition. If it's a personal entry, the winner of each category will be judged by the mayors and one of the county commissioners. If it's a business, they will be judged by the public. And we're going to have extra desserts there as well, just for people to sample that we're going to be bringing in. Matter of fact, we got a lady that is going to be doing us up some chocolate caramel-covered cinnamon bears.
Whoa, stop the bus, Gus. Put the foot on the brake. Stop, turn the engine off. What kind of cinnamon bears?
Chocolate caramel-covered cinnamon bears.
Now, what is a cinnamon bear?
Well, they're kind of like the gummy bear-looking type things, except for they are cinnamon flavored. I really enjoy eating them. But when you throw chocolate over them, they're even better. And I just found out that when you add caramel in with that chocolate, they're heavenly.
You talk about this, but do I ever get a sample? No. Is there ever a parcel in the mail? No. Does Ken Mort come to visit?
This event, Zeb.
Huh?
All you got to do is show up for our event, and you'll be able to sample all the good things. It's like the goodie basket. They are actually, we're talking about possibly entering this, what they call their German chocolate cake cookie with pecan frosting. I actually got to sample that yesterday, and I was in heaven.
You know, really, Ken, I enjoy having you on, but when you're 35 miles away from where I am talking about all these goodies, it's really not fair.
Well, all you got to do the next time you're doing your lunch bunch over here in Rupert, in Burley, swing in there to the goodie basket. Shelley over there, she will hook you up.
Well, she has done a lot of favors for us over here, and excellent lady, and that business is great. Let me ask you something now. Is it still open for private individuals to be in the contest, or explain that a little bit?
It is. We are accepting entries up until next Thursday. We're shutting down the entries a week prior to the event, so that gives us a week to be able to get everything lined out, know exactly who we've got, where we need to put everybody at there at the Wilson Theater, and be able to have everything be able to run as smooth as possible. We're looking forward to having a great event. We're hoping that it turns out really good this year, and we're able to continue doing this on a yearly basis.
You know, and I've known you since you were a little kid chasing pop fouls playing baseball for me, you've always been a skinny guy, so you don't have to worry about that stuff as far as accumulating pounds so that you have to push your tummy along in a wheelbarrow.
Actually, I'm starting to get there a little bit. But,
oh, really?
That's part of age. My metabolism is slowing down, and anymore I look at food and I gain 5 pounds, and then I got to go hit the gym and get that worked off again. But with age comes weight.
Absolutely. But now the bulk of this event is going to be used to do what?
It's to help us with a lot of our vet care, like when I pick up a dog and stuff and that has been in distress, i.e. has been wandering around for quite some time and is emaciated, and we got to get it checked out. Or we have one that has gotten into a fight that I wind up picking up and has got some lacerations or cuts or whatever. We want to get it into the vet. Things like that, plus to help with our spay and neuter program, because we're really pushing on that when people adopt pets from us, we help with getting them spayed and neutered. Like right now, our policy is you pay the adoption fee plus half the spay or neuter, and we turn around and we get it scheduled for you. You go in, get your pet spay or neutered, and you're good to go. It's one of those where we're really pushing that spay and neuter program, so all this will help out. Plus, then I'm needing some additional humane capture equipment to help me with being able to catch some of these like smaller dogs and some of the more aggressive dogs that I come across to be able to safely capture them without causing any injury to myself or to the animals. So this is all this money and stuff that we're trying to raise is to help us help our furry friends.
Now, quickly, and I've only got 2 minutes left, so make a short answer on this, but I've often wondered how one person can catch these dogs when they don't want to be caught. Is there some kind of a secret? Is there some kind of a formula or what?
A lot of it that I found, I come across, Annette, occasionally, Annette, several dogs that are hard to catch. So we wound up having to set up live traps for them and be able to catch them that way. There's others that I've come across that have actually ran from other people that I'll get out and I'll just start talking to them and I'll coax them in with milk bone dog biscuits or dog treats and everything like that and actually become their friend by showing them on that I'm not going to hurt them. And they'll come right up to me and be able to capture them that way. But then, like I say, there are the ones that are too smart that won't go near our live traps, won't come near me, Annette, even when I've got food in my hand. That I've got to have like a catch or a throw net or some sort of capturing device that they're not familiar with.
Okay. Well, I often wondered about that, but you do a great job. Minidoka Animal Control, Ken Mort. Big doings coming up. Give us the date and the time and the location one more time.
Okay, it is February 9th at the Historic Wilson Theater from 6:30 to 8:30.
Got you covered, Mr. Dessert. Actually, I'll call you the Milk Bone Man. There you go. Ken Mort over at Dog Nation. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Officer Ken Mort and Minidoka Animal Control every Thursday right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Good guy over there. Really, really good guy. My goodness sakes, let's see. It's Thursday, and I look at the clock, and I wonder if she's on the phone waiting for us. Let's just kind of take a stab in the dark and say, good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you? And she's not there yet. Well, that was a stab in the dark.
She's here, Zeb.
Pardon me?
She's on the phone.
Oh, thank you very much. There she is. I was just a little bit too early this morning. Good morning, lovely Rita Ramsey. How are you?
I'm real good. How are things out your direction?
Well, I think you and I share the same philosophy that we've had enough of the snow.
Well, yes, I kind of have, but we really need the moisture, and it is winter, so I guess we're just going to have to brave it out.
Oh, yes. Well, we can't do anything about it anyway.
That's right. We have no control, and maybe that's what God's trying to let us know. Hey, remember who's in charge here.
My wife just said that to me 2 nights ago. We were sitting there watching TV, and I was going about the weather, and I was going about the snow, and about having to shovel and plow all the time. And she calmed me and said, God is in control. We forget that sometimes.
Well, we really do, and I think that's why some of this has to happen, is it kind of brings us back down to earth and humbles us a little bit and says, we need God to help us get through this. And then we kind of turn to Him, and we're humbled a little bit, kind of like in the Bible stories that we've read all our life.
Yes, ma'am. Rita, I'm just going to be very honest and blunt. You've got your opinion, I've got my opinion, but I'm just going to say this. Monday till today, I am absolutely ecstatic about what the Trump administration is doing, trying to do, and I'll say this. I feel that there is greater optimism in 4 days than there was in 4 years of the last 4 years of Obama's administration. That's my feeling.
Well, I think you're absolutely right on that regard. The thing of it is, it kind of makes me just a little bit concerned when Trump or Obama or whoever it is starts just writing executive orders, because really all Trump has to do is go in and say, we're going to restore the rule of law, of which he's finally said. I read in an article from yesterday that he said, you know what, we're going to restore the order of law. And then he has absolutely no special interest groups that can come after him, because he's saying, hey, just because the last president didn't make the law be upheld, doesn't mean that we can't, and we're going to do that, and that's where we run into a lot of problems. On the border thing, that's all they have to do is just go by the law. Same way with the sanctuary cities.
Right.
Go by the law.
Right.
There's just numbers of things that our lawless administration did in the last 8 years that have just totally made things chaos around, and I think that was by design. But if we just restore the rule of law and Trump starts giving the law enforcers the authority to do that and say, we want you to do that, then they can do what they've been trained to do, and we will start having a lot of changes being made.
Rita, I said last hour, I don't know if you were listening or not. You should be, because you won't get your gold star if you weren't. But I said last hour that countries like Mexico, countries like Germany with Merkel, etc. All of these countries that I think, and I think I can prove it, over the last 8 years have basically told the United States what they want them to do and how they want them to do it. Now it's different. Donald Trump is president. They're looking at this administration going, holy smokes, how do we react to this? They're not going to do what we want. They're going to tell us what they're going to do.
Well, they'll need to go back in their annuals of time and see what happened in the 80s when there was a president who said,
yes,
this is what we're going to do, and we're in charge, and we're in charge of us. So if you have somebody whose strength will exude his actions, then you don't have any kind of issues to deal with, and those countries will not trample over top of us, and they know that they can. And so I think it's paramount that he lets them know, hey, we're in charge of us, you're not, and we're going to do what we need to do. And again, going back to the laws, there are some things, and I know that he's vowed to get rid of NAFTA and signing executive orders or whatever he needs to do. But a lot of those need to come forward and go to the Senate and the Congress, and let them be in charge of making those laws, and then let us go after our Senate and Congress for not going by them, because they're the ones who put those laws into effect to begin with.
Rita, I've got to ask you, and this is something that's been bugging me all week long since this past Monday. How in the world can the left, how in the world can they take phrases out of Trump's speech? We want to make America first again. America first. And later in the speech, making reference to the absolute heinous death and mayhem going on in Chicago, calling it American carnage, which it is. Many other people have used the same phrase. How can the left come out and find fault with the terms American carnage, absolute waste of life, and also find fault with America first? You got to help me on this.
Well, nobody's challenging them. If somebody were to challenge them, say, okay, what do you call it then? And put them on the spot. Just say, hey, what do you think it is then? If these aren't the right words, what are the words? Let's hear you come up with some kind of an excuse for it, because that's exactly what it is. And when all they can do is say, oh, he said this and he said that and he shouldn't have, and, chastise him about this and, act like he's a dunderhead on this and that and the other, nobody's challenging them and asking them, okay, so what would you call it? If not, then just shut up. And it's one of those things where they're going to have to be challenged. And that's what everybody liked about Trump, is that he challenged the media when they started getting out of control and trying to roll over top of him. And so I think we'll probably see that. But it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a special interest group or whether it's Hollywood big mouths or whether it's, political people on the opposite side. They need to be challenged. Okay, so what would you call it then? Instead of just saying, just challenge them. Say, hey, what is it then?
Yeah.
Tell us what it is. If it isn't, and then how do you explain this and this and this? I mean, we need to have a little debate on this, not a one-sided conversation.
And I can never understand how any American would not want his country, his family, his citizens thought of as they should be treated as number one, and we should be treated as number one. The government's first thought should be the care of the number one people, and that's the citizens of this country. And when he says America first, how could anybody take that and distort that sentence?
Well, that's absolutely right. They can't, and it goes back to what I mentioned before. If they're not challenged and asked, okay, what do you say about it, then they all of a sudden think, oh, I got it inside, and I was just kind of going by narratives and short little this and that and the other, and now I got somebody to do this, and I kind of got my way, so I'll start pushing it the other way and making it look bad. Because that's all they have to do is just point out one or two little tiny things, and then all of a sudden you've got these people who read one. They aren't even one-liners anymore. There's 2 or 3 words, and that's, oh, this is the news, and they don't even explore to see what it really is. And the media knows that, and so they can kind of get their own way. But if somebody will challenge them on it and say, give us some reasons why America shouldn't be first. What are those reasons?
Absolutely.
Why should Americans not be at the top of the list if Americans are footing the bill for it?
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to mention a name. I'm not going to say anything else other than the name, and I want your first response. Are you ready to play this game?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Sally Boynton Brown.
So she's the Democrat you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
I try not to run in those circles a lot, so I'm not overly knowledgeable, but I will say that I think she's making a big mistake with her credentials to trying to be something national. And maybe she should just go to another state that's more democratic. We'd be glad to let her go somewhere else.
All right, another name. Madeleine Albright.
Well, she said that she's ready to register as a Muslim, and I think we ought to just buy her a ticket out of town, out of the country, let her go someplace else. She just wants to have everything the way she wants it, and she made the statement that I'll register as a Muslim when she found out that Trump would sign executive orders having to do with the immigration of the Muslims. Well, you know what? Maybe we should just ship her over there and let her see what it's like over in some of those countries, Somalia, Syria, Yemen. Let's buy her a ticket.
Okay. Last name, and I think you'll have fun with this one, Madonna.
You know, she is just a blowhard. I get so tired of celebrities taking political sides and acting like they're an advocate for such and such when they don't know squat about anything. They just have a big microphone, and they use it basically to intimidate people into thinking that this is the way that they should think because Madonna does. I kind of think she's washed up myself, but I don't know, that's just me.
Okay, now I want to talk to you a little bit about a very serious subject, and I've talked about this on my program before, especially 2 years ago. I have been very, very vocal that we need, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, I got big shoulders, that we need to have the best of enhanced interrogation for the security and safety of our United States citizens and our country. I absolutely applauded Donald Trump yesterday for having the courage to go on camera and say, yes, I am an advocate of waterboarding. I am an advocate of any means necessary to protect the American people. I think that for the last 8 years, we've seen a slovenly liberal approach to, oh, no, we can't touch them because we might seem like we're as bad as they are. That approach, if it were reversed, and a liberal's mother, wife, children were held hostage, I guarantee you the liberals would absolutely do anything possible to save their family.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing is that he mentioned, and I think this is something that we need to be reminded of, is he said, I will talk to my national security advisors and the people who are in the know on this. I will support it if it's within the law. Thing of it is you had your liberals calling it, oh, this is such torture and everything else, and it wasn't against the law. Torture's against the law. So how is it classified? What's the actual meaning of it? Ask some of the military people who had to go through waterboarding as part of their training. Let's ask them if that's torture compared to what torture is. Ask some of the people who've actually been tortured. And I don't mean like people like John McCain, who obviously are kind of off on a different path, but he knows what it's like to be tortured, and the kind of torture that he received is not waterboarding.
That's right.
And I think that when we start telling them that we're going to not do this and we're not going to do that, the enemy all of a sudden has a strength against us. If we say, you know what, we're going to do it if we need to do it, and we're going to stay within the laws, and the laws say we can do this and that and the other, we'll do whatever we need to do. All of a sudden, you've become the one in charge, and you have a little bit up on the other guys, and they're going to say, we're not dealing with the same kind of person we were dealing with the last several years. Maybe we ought to rethink.
Yeah. Rita, what were your thoughts as a lady that watched other ladies in big marches all around the United States this last weekend, basically to denounce and denigrate the new administration and just absolutely come out in condemnation? I listened to columnist Liz Peek this morning, and she said that the left-wing women's marches were basically a waste of time and that women have been misinformed and misled by false stories from Hillary and the left that Trump is going to try to take away and put women back in the dark ages. I thought Liz Peek was very courageous to come out and say that this morning on television.
Well, I totally agree with her. It was a waste of time, and any of the media that paid much attention to it and televised it and made it look like there were 10 times as many people as there were there, it was just a big waste of TV and any kind of time that people would spend, because there's no way that one person can make a law that will do what they're saying can happen.
That's right.
And the other thing is that, and this is what I thought was quite interesting, Donald Trump was talking to ABC's David Muir, and he tried to bring up the Women's March and was saying, you know, what about this and what about that and the other? Did you pay attention to him? And Trump said, no, I couldn't really hear him. The crowds were large, but you're going to have a large crowd on Friday, and these people that are coming on this Friday is pro-life, and you're going to have a lot of people coming for that. Now, are you going to show that and show how much they are, or is that going to get ignored like always happens with the pro-life people? So he says, there's probably a lot more people who are pro-life than the ones who were marching before. It's just that they don't get any coverage, and I think that's really true. They try to sensationalize all of the information that's going on with the left, and you get people who are standing up for life or laws or any of those kinds of things, like the Tea Party people and just plain old conservatives, and nobody will pay attention to them. They don't get any showtime on the news media.
I'm going to take just a 60-second break and have our weather forecast, and we'll come back with more with Rita Ramsey. Stand by. The weather this hour brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. These are the professionals, and they are the CPAs that can help you with tax return preparation, tax planning, retirement planning, bookkeeping services. They've got 2 locations to serve you, 1710 Overland Avenue in Burley and 620 5th Street in Rupert. The professionals, and you need them, boy, right now at this time of the year more than ever. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company serving you. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for this fine Thursday morning. And thankfully, it doesn't look like there's going to be any snow showers in the forecast, at least through today and the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies for today, high of 24, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. We are looking at an overnight low of 15, high of 24 for today. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, high of 24, overnight low of 10. As we get into the weekend, mostly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be in the low 20s. Lows are going to be in the single digits. And as we get back to work on Monday, Mostly sunny skies and 27. That is your weather for 7th Ranch.
Don't forget, just a few days left in January to get out those 1099s, get them sent out. So don't forget, any questions, you call the best. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company CPAs. Once again, with offices in Burley, 878-7000, and Rupert, 436-5607. Rita, I was absolutely appalled by what happened at the inauguration in D.C. with the violence and the fires and the trashing of private property, the destruction of restaurant windows, bank windows, the burning of cars on the street. You know, when I remember back when Obama was elected, I could not stand the man when he was elected the first time because of his ideology, but nobody that I know of, and I don't think there's anything recorded about the right, conservatives going out and causing this kind of violence. Why does the left get away with this, and why hasn't somebody put the hammer down on them?
Well, first of all, the left gets away with it because the TV people, the news media, the majority of them, especially the liberal ones, will go out and show it, and it's like, whoa, this is really cool and everything. You notice that when people go in and start cleaning up and are trying to re-put their lives back together, nobody's there, making note of it and showing the country how this company had to go out of business because their store was burned down or that type of thing, or it cost the people who built the business, hundreds of thousands of dollars from being vandalized. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like my husband said the other day, he said, that makes about as much sense as when one of the football teams or baseball or basketball teams wins the championship or the Super Bowl or whatever, and their fans back in their town start burning the town down.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the heck are you thinking?
Yeah.
So you have to enforce the law, and you have to make them known that we are going to arrest you, and you're going to pay for it. And if there are consequences, pretty soon people will start thinking, if I'm over there doing that kind of stuff, I'm probably going to have to pay for it or sit in jail, and I don't want to do that. But if they think that they can go in there with just a get-out-of-jail-free card, nobody's going to pay attention, nothing's going to happen, it's like, yeah, why not jump on the bandwagon and say, man, I was part of that, and we were protesting, and, kind of lay low as far as who really caused the damage. But these are people's lives, people's savings, people's businesses that they've put together over the years, and to let just somebody come in and just start trashing them and burning them down is absolutely ludicrous. And Obama probably sent word to the police departments in towns where that kind of stuff was happening, just kind of stand back and let them make their statement, and and not ever thinking who's going to have to pay for it in the end.
Well, and you brought up a really good point, because if I were a property or business owner in that area, and I had on the air yesterday Kyle Olson with EAGnews.org out of Michigan talking about education. He and his wife and another couple attended the inauguration, and they were in the restaurant that the absolute left violent provocations to do damage, they broke the windows in the restaurant they were in. And like Kyle said, these people need to be arrested. They need to be thrown in jail. They need to be forced to make restitution, because this is getting completely out of hand. And the thing that really burned me up the most, and I wrote a blog about this last week in my Cow Pies and Coffee Cups, was that 10-year-old boy the night before the inauguration that was on the Washington, D.C. streets, setting fires in the middle of the street. And when a news reporter went up to him, and then he turned around with some vile, filthy language on camera, a 10-year-old kid at 9:45 at night on a school night, and his parents must have been really proud of this kid. And where were the parents, and what kind of people are they?
Yeah, see, that's what needs to happen, is somebody needs to go find out who the parents are and get them on camera and say, how come you had let your 10-year-old out this time of night, let alone get away with something like that? Because most of us know, those of us who have parented or those of us who understand consequences, would take some child like that and say, you know what? We're going to wash your mouth out with soap.
Yes.
And you are going to have to pay for this dearly. And that means maybe you're grounded the rest of your life. I don't know. But do some kind of hard labor kind of thing for for a 10-year-old, and that doesn't take much because they get a little exhausted with hard labor from parents. But you have to parent, and you have to make sure that they find out that there's respect that has to be taken into consideration for other people, and you just can't do something like that. I would definitely like to see some interviews with those parents and have them excuse what he did.
There is no way our founding fathers in the Constitution found the First Amendment as a right to burn and destroy.
Well, there isn't, and that's why we've got to go by the rule of law. And, as we kind of started out with this conversation, for the last 8 years, the rule of law has been right out the window with many, many, many organizations. And, whether it was overlooking the IRS that was targeting people, or whether it was Fast and Furious that were running guns, or whether it was the Benghazi thing that somebody was blamed for causing that to happen and didn't. And I mean, every single thing, just big things like that. But there's tons and tons of little things that have got passed in some of the big police departments where the feds are trying to federalize them and say, look past the ones who are causing trouble, especially if they're Hispanic or black or whatever, and we're just going to keep our eyes on the ones that we think we ought to keep an eye on, and you can't do that. The Constitution provides equality, and the government cannot do that kind of thing, and we have got to make sure that we don't let them encroach on those rights.
Okay, I've only got a minute left. Anything going on that you need to broadcast for the Tea Party?
No, we will have Tea Party meeting a week. Let's see, it'll be 2 weeks from tonight, so don't have anything going right now. Dar's down at that trial that's supposed to start next week, and
right.
He's going to take some notes on it for the Bundy outfit deal.
Well, I certainly hope that all goes well for that. There's so much that we don't know that is behind the scenes that I hope will be brought out honestly in those trials.
Well, and that's really true. One of the big things that needs to be brought out is a lot of that area of the Bundy Ranch now is part of the national...
yes.
The lands that were set aside
right.
for the feds to take back.
Yeah, and that was Harry Reid's doing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Rita Ramsey, God bless. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being on the program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care. Thank you. Rita Ramsey every Thursday right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Enjoy that conversation. I really do. Oh, Deanna, I'm hungry. It's that time of the day. I'm starving to death. I'm going to tell you some great places to go for lunch. Please pay attention. The AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, the chicken fried steak sandwich with the fries and the special sauce, or maybe a famous Farmer Brown burger and a shake. Oh, you're going to love all the food on the menu at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about we move over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, listen to this. This will just set your taste buds on fire. New pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. It's delicious. Along with, to top it off, a pumpkin empanada. You're going to love all the menu choices at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, let's move on over now to two locations of Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. What? Hamburgers only 99 cents after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Are you kidding me? And a different flavored soup every day, Monday through Friday, in a bread bowl or a cup? Oh, my. And nice people. And at the Burley location on Sundays, shrimp dinner. Oh, you're going to love Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, how about Steve-O's? 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Oh, my goodness, they've got a new salad over at Steve-O's. Chicken breast with bacon and all the goodies. And buffalo burgers and a different soup every day. And now, new to the menu, cupcakes. You're going to love their cupcakes. Friendly servers, great staff at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And last but not least, our friends over at Doc's Pizza. Oh, great Pizza at 514 6th Street in Rupert. They've got specials throughout the week, and they've got all-you-can-eat Monday and Thursday pizza for $8. Pizza, breadstick, salad bar, potato bacon soup. Oh, it's good. Good. Starts at 5 p.m., goes to 9 p.m. at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. I am. All righty, we're going to take a little break and come back in about 7 minutes with our Cassia County School Days and many other events. And don't you go away. Zeb at the Ranch, Wheels, take it away.
You know I like my chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up, a light to see the sunrise, see the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love. Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine, and that's home, you know, with sweet pea, pecan pie, and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. In my house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled with love that's grown in southern ground, and a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and a radio. Of a precious child, no mother's And it's funny how it's the simple things in life that mean the most. Not where you live, what you drive, or the price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on a piece of mind since I've come to know. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise your glasses for a toast to a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and a radio. Well, I've seen sunrise, see the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, know a mother's love.
Burley, Rupert, and beyond, the Mini-Cassia area's talk station. This is AM 1230 KBAR, Burley, a service of Lee Family Broadcasting.
CBS News, I'm Steve Kathan. There's breaking news. Mexico's president says he will not come to the U.S. next week for a meeting with President Trump. Just last night, Enrique Peña Nieto indicated his country would not foot the bill for a border wall. How the U.S. government will pay for it isn't clear, but congressional Republicans are okay with going ahead with the president's project. CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
Even as Mexico insists it won't foot the bill, GOP leaders say they will move forward with a measure in the neighborhood of $12 to $15 billion to pay for the wall.
The point is we are going to finance the Secure Fence Act, which is the construction of the physical barrier on the border.
House Speaker Paul Ryan, taking questions from reporters at a GOP gathering in Philadelphia, refused to say whether Republicans will seek to offset the wall's cost with cuts elsewhere in the budget.
Well, CBS's Nancy Cordes says the way forward after Obamacare figures to be a major issue for the GOP in Philadelphia.
Republicans are sort of moving full steam ahead to repeal it, but they do not have a plan to replace it. And there is a wide variety of beliefs on this issue about how they should replace it, how quickly, how expansive the replacement should be.
There is an anti-Trump protest going on in Philadelphia today. The president is due to speak to the GOP group later today. The doomsday clock has been moved from 3 minutes to midnight to 2.5 by the scientist group that monitors that. It's symbolic of the world being perilously close to destruction. Former UN Ambassador Thomas Pickering says nuclear volatility is a chief reason.
U.S. and Russia are at loggerheads on arms control and disarmament. With little prospect, reduction negotiations will resume.
A new chapter's opening in a murder story that's been told in a bestseller and on TV. CBS's Jim Krasula says a federal appeals court is looking into the conviction of a military man.
73-year-old Jeffrey McDonald has long maintained that the killings at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, nearly 50 years ago were committed by drug-crazed hippies who broke into his post apartment. The case inspired the book and television miniseries Fatal Vision. Lawyers say evidence uncovered since McDonald's 1979 trial proves he is innocent.
Well, Dick Van Dyke says Mary Tyler Moore, who died yesterday at 80, was the best. And he tells CBS This Morning the two on his sitcom hit it right off from the start.
We thought we were the best dance team since Astaire and Rogers, and we thought we were the best comedy team since Laurel and Hardy.
He says Moore, later on her own groundbreaking show, embraced the role of role model for young women who wanted a more prominent place on the job. A Pennsylvania priest is apologizing for sharing a Facebook meme mocking what he called fat women during Saturday's D.C. protest. The 74-year-old man says at 5'6" and 230 pounds, he's not in a position to criticize. The Dow is up 32. This is CBS News.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job. It's really hard. The searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. Right from the start, you could tell it was going to make hiring a lot easier. One click and my job was posted to 200-plus job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them. Thumbs up if I liked them, thumbs down if I didn't. No emails and attachments, printing up docs, phone calls, none of that.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I had the person we needed within 1 week. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 200-plus job sites. ZipRecruiter, the fastest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talk. ZipRecruiter.com/talk.
A member of Congress is on the defensive after meeting with Syria's president. CBS's Peter King.
Hawaii Democrat Tulsi Gabbard says she was on a privately funded fact-finding mission when she was offered a meeting with Bashar Assad. She defended it last night on CNN.
In order for any possibility of a viable peace agreement to occur, there has to be a conversation with him.
In a later tweet on the retaking of Aleppo, she said people are glad the rebels are gone and now have hope, food, and medicine. One critic says Gabbard has now legitimized Assad's dictatorship and genocide of his own people. Peter King, CBS News.
For the 9th time, the tennis-playing Williams sisters will square off with a Grand Slam title on the line. Venus Williams got past American Coco Vandeweghe in the Australian Open semifinals. She will meet up with sister Serena in Saturday's final. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Getting a great night's sleep is easy.
This CBS News update has been brought to you by the Minnecaja area's local news talk station, AM 1230, KBAR.
With a look at news, I'm Janann James. Firefighters spent over 2 hours trying to control a house fire in Rupert last night. The fire started just before 6 p.m. at 314 1st Street and resulted in police evacuating the neighborhood. After reports say witnesses heard what sounded like ammunition going off during the fire. According to reports, police say the house belongs to Dale Mounts, who is wanted on failing to appear on 3 counts of felony aggravated battery with a 9mm gun. Police have not been able to contact Mounts and asked anyone with knowledge of his whereabouts to contact them. Daniel Mills of Jerome, a convicted felon who brandished a shotgun at law enforcement officers in Jerome last year, was sentenced yesterday to 10 years and 4 months in federal prison after he lied under oath during his trial. Mills was convicted by a federal jury in October for illegally possessing firearms as a convicted felon and for violating his supervised release from a previous federal gun conviction. And a jury trial for Ronnie Kincaid Jr. of Declo, who is charged with first-degree murder in the death of his wife, has been rescheduled for May 1st to allow a chance for the parties to mediate the case. Kincaid is also charged with felony mayhem, 2 counts of penetration with a foreign object, concealing or destroying evidence, and a charge enhancement for being a persistent violator. That's a look at your news. I'm Janann James.
Oh, here we go. Good morning, 3rd hour. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, many of our great advertisers, and this one in particular, Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them, get on the route service, 734-6969. Western Way Services. Holy cow, tonight, I want to remind you again, this will be the last time I can mention this. Tonight will be the Relay for Life kickoff. And it's going to be from 6 o'clock until 8 p.m. at the Burley Methodist Church at 450 East 27th Street in Burley. Once again, that is tonight. And it's the Relay for Life kickoff for this next year. 6 to 8 p.m., Burley Methodist Church in Burley. You be there. By the way, too, we want to remind you about our dear friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Oh, my goodness, a big inventory crunch. Why, they've got too many great items, and they need to have you come and buy some and make more room. Absolutely, 12 months interest-free financing, and it's a clearance sale. My goodness, you can save up to 75%. Holy cow, you better get in there and check it out. Mattresses and bedroom sets and all the furniture and the flooring and the carpet. Oh, my goodness. What are you waiting for? Get in the car or the pickup and get on over to 459 Overland in Burley. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More with their huge, that means really big, inventory crunch going on right now. Also want to remind you, too, about our friends with the Ag Express. My goodness sakes, they are looking for drivers. Absolutely full and part-time positions. Retired folks are welcome, and they'll work around your schedule, 2 or 3 days a week, whatever works the best for you. And you're home every single night. You can't beat that. Hey, they've got new and maintained equipment. And listen to this, a week vacation after 6 months and 2 weeks after 1 year. Wow. You better call them today. Call Dale and Paul at 438-8886. Allen in Twin Falls, 731-2495. And Chad in Burley, 670-7219. Ag Express. Looking for drivers? You call them today. Right now, we're going to get all set for a segment that is very, very popular on this program, and it's called Cassia County School Days, and we're very, very honored to have both businesses on our program. Deanne, all of a sudden, you know what I can't find? I can't find my commercial sheets. If you could come in here real quick, I need that. And we'd like to say thank you to our dear friends with A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and also Ambulatory Surgery Center. And we thank them for their sponsorship for a long, long time of being on Cassia County School Days. And so don't forget it. A Child's World, they've got the winter clothing, I believe at 40% off. They've got all kinds of great goodies for you. And don't forget, too, that they're celebrating their 15th birthday party the week of Valentine's. And they've got one half of the store 50% off and the other side of the store 25% off. You're going to save a lot of money at a great store, and that's, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. And the other sponsor, of course, is the Ambulatory Surgery Center, and they're located at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Don't forget, every single week, people are calling them and scheduling outpatient surgeries. Absolutely, whether it's colonoscopies, whether it's eye surgeries, hand surgeries, please call and get more information and save money at Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, 677-8888. Along with A Child's World, they bring you Cassia County School Days. And I believe that this morning we have the principal at Declo Junior High School, Scott Muir. Scott, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm well, Zeb. How are you doing this morning?
Well, I got to be honest with you, my friend. I'm sick and tired of the snow and all the angel dandruff, and I'll bet it as an administrator of a school, holy smokes, you're probably tearing your hair out trying to figure out to keep the school in session.
Yeah, we've had plenty of snow, plenty of water, flooding, a few heat issues, but we're still here and we're still running. We're keeping kids warm and we're learning, so that's the important part, right?
There you go. We're learning. I love that. Okay, now I understand that we're going to be talking a little bit about recruiting positions for jobs in the school district. I'll let you, I'll hand the ball to you and run for the goal line. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so we have scheduled for March 10th, and we're going to get flyers out as we approach that date a little bit closer. But we're looking for people that are interested in coming back to work. We might be hearing from moms. We're hoping to hear from moms that, finally their youngest child is in kindergarten or school, and they've got a degree of some sort, whether it be an education degree or another degree, that might be interested in becoming a teacher. We've got the state, when I say we, I mean the state has some alternative ideas that we can do for those people that are looking for employment that have a degree but not necessarily a teaching degree, and we can help them jump through those hoops, if you will, and get them certified so that they can find a job. So, again, we're looking at March 10th from 5:30 to 7:30. We have a lot of other things we're looking for. Like most school districts, we're always looking for substitute teachers. We're looking for substitute maintenance and custodial folks. Two of the big jobs that we're looking for right now, one is a journeyman electrician, and another one is a journeyman plumber. We've had those jobs posted for some time, and we're looking for those people that do have that journeyman certificate, if you will, I guess. And this job fair is going to encompass all of it, not just teachers, but anybody that is interested in working in the food service industry for our school district, maintenance custodial, teaching, paraprofessional. We're hoping that we're going to be able to drum up some people that are looking for that, even that second job or second career, if you will. They've moved on from one and looking for something else, and we're hoping that we can be able to help them look for that kind of stuff. Scott,
let me ask you this. I just absolutely am appalled when you hear the word unemployment, because I think there are so many opportunities in almost every field of endeavor in this country. If you want to work and put forth the effort, you can find a job. And in this case, I would ask you this. Are there any age restrictions? Because I feel too many good people that might be maybe 60, whatever, are put out to pasture when they could be a great asset to what you're looking for.
Oh, absolutely. And, whether it be a bus driver or, like I said, working in our food service area, I've often looked at and hired paraprofessionals for our schools that have been older. Those women have been through what I consider some of the hardest times in life, raising kids and raising grandchildren and doing some of that things, and they've got that loving, understanding philosophy that works really well when they come in and work with kids. So age is not an issue. Of course, you'll have to be at least a graduate from high school or have your GED to apply for some of these positions, and that's what we look for as well. And then, like I said, up until if you can come to work and you can foot the footload that we have, then we're interested in hiring you and helping and getting your help in order to be able to work with our kids here at the schools. If you've had a knack for math or a knack for English or something along those lines as a paraprofessional, you can certainly jump in and help our students that are struggling and do some of those things.
Let me emphasize the one phrase you used and have you explain it a little bit further. Paraprofessional. Would you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's the new terminology. I don't know how new it is, but it's the classroom aide. It's the person that can come in to the building and assist the teachers with the teaching, and again, certain skills. If you don't have them, we certainly help you with them. There's trainings that the district gives as well as the state. If you want to get better at your say if you're helping the math classes, you can get better at math. There's some things that we can point you towards, and you can get some training that way. So it's a classroom aide. It's the old classroom aide terminology that we used to use, and it's now paraprofessional.
Okay. Now, is your school district, Cassia County School District, any different than any other school district today? Are all the districts basically looking for good, qualified people?
Absolutely. I would say we're different because we are the best, right? I get to say that on the radio.
That a boy. Yep.
But aside from that, everybody's looking for very similar things. As we look down this, I'm looking at our employment page right now, and we're looking for. There are 4 high school teaching positions that we're aware of now. That will probably increase as time goes on, as people retire and do different things. We're looking for those 4 maintenance custodial positions that I mentioned, student support service positions. We're looking for 3 of those, college and career advisors, different things like that. And I think a lot of districts, they're always looking for substitute teachers. And that's something that's huge. Also, transportation, bus drivers or bus subs for us as well. So lots of different things that districts are constantly looking for. People out there that are looking for a job, come and see what we can do for you, what we can help you with.
I think it's great that you mentioned, moms that have been kind of through the grinder, if you will, raising their families, and now they sit back. And it's funny, as busy as they were as moms, and then all of a sudden when they have a little lax time for maybe 6, 7, 8 months, and then all of a sudden they say, holy smokes, I'm sick of sitting in this house. This would be a golden opportunity for them.
Yes. Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to drum up. In visiting Andrew Ray, assistant principal at Burley High School, is also, he's got the vision of this, and him and I are kind of working together and trying to figure out how we can get people to know that, hey, we're looking for people, and local people. A lot of kids graduating college don't necessarily want to come to Burley, and that's not a good or a bad thing. We understand that, but I know there are people out there that, like I said, looking for a second career or have that degree and didn't finish because they started having children and now their children are of school age. This is a great opportunity to be on a very similar or same schedule as your kids are, and go home about the same time they do every day, come to school the same time, have that summer break off, those holidays off, those spring breaks off, those types of things, and it really helps.
Okay, now tell us a little bit more about March 10th and give us the numbers, the times, all of that stuff.
Okay, so March 10th, right now we've got it scheduled from 5:30 to 7:30. It will be at Burley High School. We will have each of the schools represented there. We're kind of going to do, we might meet in the little theater there. And like I said, all this will be on the flyer that we're generating and putting out in the next couple of weeks. We'll meet in the little theater with maybe a little bit of a presentation from Dr. Smyer, our superintendent, and or Sandra Miller, our assistant superintendent, and then we'll move into the gymnasium area where we will have representatives from each of the schools there being able to explain and talk to those people that are interested. And kind of go from there. So, again, 5:30 to 7:30 on March 10th at Burley High School.
Well, I wish you a lot of success on this. Is there anything else you want to mention about Cassia County schools and especially over at Declo? Anything else? I got about 2 minutes left in this segment.
Well, as cold as it's been and as much school as we've missed, it's good to be back into school, and it's good to have the kids back into school. I'm sure some of the parents would agree with us out there. We extended our semester a week successfully with the days that we missed, but I think we're back into a groove now. Started second semester on Monday, and looking forward to everything that's coming up. I just appreciate all the people that have worked hard behind the scenes to ensure that our schools are safe, whether it be from heat, troubled boilers, or moving snow, helping us with flooding that we had 2 weeks ago, all of those things. And that's our maintenance custodial people who don't always get a great shout out, and so I want to shout out to them and thank them. Our food service people that feed us day in and day out and continue to prepare some of those things that we need to have, and the snacks and the different things that are going on. One thing I would like to plug, and I'll plug our after school program, the 21st Century Grant program that we have, Spark After School. That exists at Mountain View, Dvorak, Burley Junior High School, Declo Junior High, and Declo Elementary School, and I'm trying to think, and White Pine. If you're interested in our Spark After School program, we have an opportunity to enrich some students with some different things, robotics, 4-H, lots of different things that the program is doing and offering kids, and there is some time set aside every day for those kids to get homework done as well. So lots of great things going on in our district, lots of good things that are happening. The construction is moving forward and moving along, and we're excited to see all the new buildings and different things going on in each of the communities, and getting movement on that with the bond that was passed several years ago, and hoping to see some great structure changes and some great things happen.
Wow. I tell you what, Scott, if you ever want to take off out of your office and come over here and sit in my chair and sub for me, you do a good job. You are like me. I think you were basically vaccinated with a photograph needle. You do a good job. I really do applaud you for that, and I commend you. Principal of Declo Junior High School, Scott Muir, thank you for being on the show this morning, and I hope you find some really good qualified people to fill those positions.
Zeb, thank you, and thanks for what you do for us, showcasing us each week and doing the things that you do for us. We really appreciate it.
Very welcome, sir. Thank you for being on the program. Cassia County School Days, brought to you by two wonderful businesses, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Number to call 677-8888. Thank you very much. And special thank yous again go out to Debbie Critchfield that helps set up all the guests for this program. I really appreciate it. By the way, don't forget the world's best plumber. The world's best plumber. And that is, of course, Harris Plumbing NG. Nathan Harris. Wow, we've called him in the middle of the night. We've called him early in the morning. And I'll tell you what, when we need help for all your plumbing service needs, he's there. He does a great job, super service, gets the job done right. Harris Plumbing NG. Call him at 431-8633. Remember that number, 431-8633. Harris Plumbing NG for all your plumbing needs. Let's go to the phone line right now, and I believe we have my dear, dear friend, Randy Wynn from Tires West, Magic Valley, Les Schwab. Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Good. How are you, Zeb? We'd both be better if the Falcons hadn't knocked both of our teams out a couple of weeks ago.
You know something? I was going to call you, and I was going to say, gee, my condolences, but I thought it better left unsaid, because if you, with the Seahawks, were like me with the Packers when they got beat, you just want to be left alone, and you don't want anybody giving you any jazz, right?
That's exactly right. It's a guy thing. Yeah, that's our teams, and it's hard when they lose. The season's over for sure. So.
But now, even though Atlanta is victorious over both of our teams, I got to tell you, I'm pulling so hard for the Falcons to knock off the Patriots. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I agree, and we're both NFC guys because our teams are in the NFC, and the Falcons coach is Dan Quinn, the Seahawks' old defensive coordinator. So definitely got some rooting interest in the Falcons for sure, and their offense is pretty impressive as well.
Absolutely. Randy, we have seen one of the worst winters that we've had since, I think, 92 and 93, and we've seen severe snow and mud and ice, and it's just really been treacherous out there. What about the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all the traction tires? I mean, wow, you must be really putting a lot of tires on a lot of cars.
Well, we absolutely have them, Zeb. All of us have, and batteries as well. When it got really cold, and we went through a lot of batteries. And what we're doing a lot of now, Zeb, in the last few days is a lot of loader chains for these for these dairies and feedlots. They're having a hard time with their loaders getting through and getting stuck trying to feed. And we buy that chain in bulk. It's bigger than if you just buy a set of loader chains and have them shipped in. And so the dairymen like those chains a lot better. Those big, heavier chains. We've been busy building a lot of those lately. Obviously, traction tires. Yeah, it's been really good. It's been a good winter, and hopefully we're keeping people safe on the roads as well.
Let me ask you this, Randy. When you talk about batteries, and I know you got the best in batteries over there, but what about the people like myself? They get in the car or the pickup in the morning, turn the key, and they expect that battery to turn that engine over. How do you know if your battery is kind of getting on the dying stages?
Well, obviously, the first thing is if it's having a hard time starting, first time it does that, especially if cold weather, it's probably not gonna last very much longer. So definitely get it in here, and we'll do a load test on the battery and see what shape it's in. That's the first thing. Obviously, if you just do a physical inspection of it and see any corrosion, any leakage all around the battery, that's another sign too. So that's probably the two best indicators of a battery starting to go bad.
Okay, now I noticed. Randy, are you still there?
I'm here, bud.
Oh, good. We had a power bump and got cut off the air just momentarily, and I apologize for that, but it's out of our control. I wanted to ask you also about driving conditions. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not accustomed to the ice underneath the snow and the snow conditions and all the traction tires. How do you know what traction tires to put on certain vehicles to get the job done and have them drive safely?
Well, on ice, there's not a lot that we can do, but obviously the best thing you can do is put studded snow tires on. There's no question. I mean, people come in sometimes and want all-season tires, but that's not going to help a lot more than what they had. So we put studded snow tires, and on front-wheel drive cars, we have to put them all the way around. You can't just put them on the front. So you put a set of studded snow tires on that's studs in them. That's without a doubt the best traction. I mean, chains you put on, you can only go 15, 20 miles an hour at most, or you're in danger of ripping the chains apart. So we definitely found that studded snow tires is the best in these kind of driving conditions.
You know, one thing I noticed, and you sent it over to me, and I really appreciate it, was that winter driving resource guide. And some of the tips about how to drive in every winter condition, like keeping your tires inflated to the proper air pressure, don't drive on worn tires naturally, don't use cruise control. I think that's one thing you ought to amplify a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. You're going down the freeway, and all of a sudden it's dry, and you're on cruise control, and then all of a sudden you hit an icy patch, and you're in trouble if you have cruise control on, no question. And then as far as the air pressure goes, you know, in this cold weather, we're having a lot of people come in with their tire pressure monitoring system sensors. We call them TPMS sensors coming in, and their tires are low. And this cold air takes, 4 or 5 pounds out of each tire, so keep them properly inflated is pretty important, and this cold weather definitely wreaks havoc on air pressures.
Do you get a lot of questions from people that perhaps come from warmer climates, California, Florida, etc.? Holy cow, we don't know what to do in this bad winter. How do you drive on these roads? Do you sit down and kind of give them a little seminar? What do you do with them?
Yeah, price them a set of snow tires. That's the best way to do it. So, yeah, we have that once in a while. A lot of people move into this area and not used to the road conditions, that's for sure. But, yeah, like I said a couple times, a set of snow tires is the best way to go. And then in the spring, when the roads become dry and you think there's not going to be a lot more of the moisture coming, then we recommend taking them off so you don't wear the studs down on the dry roads and put them back to your all-season tires on.
Randy, there's 7 locations, and do all 7 locations offer the same services?
No, absolutely. Yeah, we're all the same pricing. We try to be, and warranties, we try to be across the board. There's 460 of us around the West, and we try to be the same. When someone walks into a store, we don't want to differentiate. The store has different product or service or pricing. The other store, we all try to be the same, and the good quality pricing and service. We all try to make it all the same and work at every store.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, they are the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my good friend Randy on Overland and Burley. God bless you, sir. Thanks for being on the program, and we'll look forward to the next time.
You too, Zeb. You're a good man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Just one of the nicest people in the world. Randy went over there at Tires West, and I appreciate him on behalf of all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Holy cow, we're going to take a little break right now and then come back with our next guest. Wheels, take it away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, thank you very much. Down the home stretch for this morning, last half hour of our program, and thank you for tuning in. We have a lady with us right now that is a pro-life spokesperson and also a YouTube artist as a singer. And we're going to have her on the air right now. Joyce M. Bartholomew. Good morning, Joyce, and I hope I said your name correctly.
Good morning, Zeb. Yes, you did. I'm impressed.
Well, where are you calling in from, Joyce, just so we know the location of where you're speaking?
Sure, I'm calling in from Naples, Florida.
Oh, my goodness, and I would imagine that you've probably got a foot of snow and cold temperatures, sure?
Yes, in our 85-degree weather, yes.
Oh, well, I'd trade you any day of the week. Tell us a little bit about yourself as a pro-life spokesperson and also a recording artist. You are celebrating the March for Life movement, and I'd like to know your background in that.
Sure. Well, I am the national spokesperson for Preborn. We just changed our name from Mission Preborn this year and just truncated it. And I've been with them for 6 years. And Mission Preborn, or Preborn, is 10 years old. So I've been doing this because originally I had been a pregnancy care center counselor, a volunteer counselor, years before, and I had been seriously vocally trained and been part of the worship teams at the church and even an interim worship leader and performing also professionally when I lived in Toronto for a little while up on the stage and on TV. And so God kind of orchestrated the events of my life to bring my calling for the pro-life movement and my creative music side together for Preborn. And this was something I never, ever dreamed or imagined would occur. It was just completely, you can't even imagine that. When you're doing your pro-life counseling, I just never dreamed I would be singing and standing for life later.
I must ask you, Joyce, that your feelings about where we are as a culture, a civilization, supposedly, in the United States of America, when we have, I think, lost our regard for life, whether at conception and birth or even the elderly. I think we've lost respect for life. Would you agree for that?
Yes, I would definitely agree, because I have a lot of people attacking me sometimes for my pro-life stance, and they will I have many people argue, and I'm always very gentle about it, but I will be very firm about what God has to say about life begins at conception. But they don't believe it. Absolutely, they do not believe that. They believe that life does not begin at conception, that the baby is not a person. They don't have any rights, that they are not thinking. And so I would say, but then are you saying that the mentally disabled are not people? Or that the elderly that are starting to lose some of their brain capacity are not people? And I would say, I disagree completely. And I told people I've had to argue on social media that I would say only God creates a life, and only He has the right to take a life.
Absolutely. You mentioned about attacking you. How severe have been the attacks on you, and have they hurt your career? Have they damaged your friendships with various people just because you support life? Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Sure. I know that it's all spiritually, demonically derived, so I just have to keep turning that to God, because I understand it comes with the territory. Nobody likes to be attacked, ever, for something. So it's not ever easy, but, God gives me strength to continue to just do what He wants me to do. But I at first was very upset by, for instance, Google taking in YouTube my pro-life anthem, my pro-life music video that I put up. When it was only 32,000 views, they they removed it, censored me, saying that I had done illegal bots, which I did not do. And so I went on to sue them, and this because they would not disclose any information, and said that I had violated their terms of contract service and that I was doing something illegal, which of course I wouldn't do, and they wouldn't disclose anything. So I have the lawyer. My lawyer is David Delighton's lawyer, and he's the same lawyer. So we've been in this battle for 2 years now. So just very recently, I was able to remarket my new album and What Was Your Name, and so now it has over 500,000 views.
Oh my!
With some marketing. And so in a lot of ways, at first I was very upset, but I got a lot of publicity for the negative attacks, and LifeSite News did an article on it and said, "Don't you think this was the best thing to happen to you?" And I said, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm not that kind of person. I'm not trying to get the publicity. So I said, but okay, I guess so. Yeah, I guess. But I never thought of it that way initially. I never thought of it that way.
We have a caller.
He was one of the, I guess, editors or something, saying that to me. We met in person. Because after that, Forbes.com got wind of it and wrote an article, but against me. But then my lawyer said that he was mistaken, because in California, you cannot have religious discrimination, where I shot my music video. So according to that, this is where it's sort of the bone of contention here. And then also Forbes.com wrote an article about how there's a lot of U.S. censorship against pro-life and conservative things. And I was number 3 out of 10, and it was all about me and my case. And it was on Forbes.com. And it was so big that my husband saw it on the Drudge Report as a big headliner.
Wow.
Link. And he said, oh, this sounds like your case. And I was put there. Now, I never knew about these things, so I'm finding these things out accidentally. But it actually has been interesting. I've never been one to like negative publicity because I'm not that kind of person, but God gives you the strength to do what you need to do for Him.
Absolutely.
That's where my strength comes from.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a question, and I don't want them to wait any longer. So, caller, go ahead, please. You're on the air.
Well, all I wanted to do was say that when we talk about God and life, at the point of conception, science has found that there is a spark, a light, literally visible, and I don't know how it is, maybe with microscopic, it doesn't matter, but at the point of conception, there is a spark, a light, and it's like, when you start thinking about it, it is so, it makes you think of the light of Christ, the gift of life, and so I think that life starts right then, of course, and according to God, the way I understand it, He agrees. I'll hang up. Thanks.
Respond to the caller if you would, please, Joyce. I'd appreciate it.
I'm sorry, I missed what you just said, Zeb.
I said if you'd respond to what the caller said, I'd certainly appreciate it. Go ahead.
Sure, I'd say amen to that. I mean, I didn't know that there was any scientific evidence of a spark of light, but I'm not surprised to hear that at all because, as we know, in the beginning, God said, let there be light. And there's the Big Bang Theory that they all have debunked now to say they call it the light theory, the bang of light.
Yeah.
The beginning of history, they say, was light, which coincides with the Bible, of course. So it's just kind of interesting how the light issue comes up, and I just think it's fascinating that if science can even come out and prove that. I just love to hear that.
Joyce, this weekend, actually tomorrow, is the big March for Life, and on January 27th this year. And this is a march that I absolutely hope there are literally not thousands, but millions of people get involved in. Last weekend, the women that marched, the liberal women, and really all they were doing is complaining and really not any kind of a platform to stand on. I hope that this march tomorrow, the March for Life, is highly successful. Give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I do know that last year they had, I think, 500,000 people, and it was even in freezing temperatures, it was very widely attended, probably one of their largest. And I'm praying to God that tomorrow will be even larger. And I want to say that the young people, this generation is the most pro-life generation since Roe v. Wade, which was passed 44 years ago. That's what's amazing. So a lot of times, the younger people are really crying out that this is not right. It's inhumanity. It's cruelty. This is a baby. This is a life. And because they can see with technology what's going on. And I just hope to God that it's very successful. I know a lot of people are praying for it, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. And I just pray to God that it's hugely successful for His glory.
Absolutely.
The other march that occurred, no, it didn't represent millions of women across the country. That's not my view. As if they want to call, I don't think they should have called it the Women's March, because I'm a woman and I don't agree with that. They should have had a different name.
I agree. Thank you so much for that. Now, we have another caller. Quickly, you're on the air. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that don't feel like the Lone Ranger. I know we've got to fight back on this, but yesterday Google shut down 220 quote-unquote fake news sites. So hang in there. Keep it going.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Go ahead, Joyce.
So kind of you to be encouraging like that. And I'm so happy they're shutting down quote-unquote fake news sites, because the fake news, as people I think are starting to wisen up, that what they hear and read is not accurate anymore. Like we are all being very doubtful about what the liberal media is putting out, that we can not just take it for granted. Like we do have to research and figure it out for ourselves, really.
You know, Joyce, I've been very, very honored to have many, many guests on my program talking about protection of the unborn and also about our senior citizens, I should say. But can we get this thing turned around? Do you see a change? Do you see a transition in thinking in the United States? I mean, for the last 8 years, and yes, I am highlighting the negativity of the Obama years, but for the last 8 years, it seems like there's been more of a hemlock society instead of an honoring and preserving of life. What are your thoughts? Can we turn this thing around?
You know, I am so optimistic that it is very possible. 6 years ago, I was discouraged a lot of times because 6 years ago, to say abortion around a lot of people was just a no-no. And I would dream about this position that we've come to. Really, I would say, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could come to this place where people start to see the value of life and start to save these babies. And this is, to me, more of a reality than ever before. It really is. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited, but I still think that people have to keep praying and fighting in prayer and vocally, being very vocal about the views on life, and you're just supporting in any way financially or whatever they feel called to do, because, especially prayer, really, because I think that it is very possible. I think, honestly, I would like Roe v. Wade to be abolished. I think that it's inhumanity and cruelty, and I think that it should be abolished.
Let me ask you, now that we know about you, we know that you're a spokesperson for pro-life and that you're a recording artist. Now tell my audience, how can they find out more information about what you are, what you stand for, and then also that single called What Was Your Name?
Well, sure. The way to do something just to check me out easily for free would just to be gone to YouTube, and if you type in my name, Joyce M. Bartholomew, that's Joyce I am Bartholomew, Songs from the Deep. You can see my latest music videos, or you can go to my channel and check out all my other things, because I've written a lot of blogs and recorded those as well. And the reason is because I used to be a Sunday school teacher for elementary kids, a Bible study leader for girls, my peers. So I've been always around the God, teaching and the Word. That's really my passion, is for the people to grow, Christians to grow. It's one of my huge main passions. And also my artist page is www.joycembartholomew.com. But you can also get me digitally. You can get it on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or Amazon. We're making available the hard copy physical CDs. And so you can listen for free, or you can download digitally, or as a hard copy on Amazon, which we're in the process of providing for. So you can purchase them that way.
You know, I hope that in the future, Joyce, you'll come back and be on our program again. I find you to be a very refreshing young lady, a pro-life spokesperson, and again, a recording artist on YouTube with the song, What Was Your Name? Joyce M. Bartholomew, thank you so much down in warm Naples, Florida, for being on our program this morning.
I want to say thank you, Zeb. It's been such an honor, and thank you so much for all your help and everything that you're doing. So I'm really blessed. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. God bless. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. A lovely lady right there, ladies and gentlemen, Joyce M. Bartholomew, and I'm very honored to have her on the program this morning. We got to get a weather forecast on here right now, and the weather is brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. And again, every day I say this because it sounds so good. You've got to try their oven-ready marinated prime rib. It is phenomenal. Your hometown meat cutter, locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years, Scarrows Meats. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for this fine Thursday morning. And thankfully, it doesn't look like there's going to be any snow showers in the forecast, at least through today and the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies for today, high of 24, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. We are looking at an overnight low of 15, high of 24 for today. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, high of 24, overnight low of 10. As we get into the weekend, mostly cloudy skies, highs are going to be in the low 20s, lows are going to be in the single digits, and as we get back to work on Monday, mostly sunny skies and 27. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Appreciate it, Gina. Thank you. And brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. I've got a little bit of an announcement here, if you'll just give me your ears for a second. I'm going to be taking some time off, and my lovely bride and I are going to be around the house quite a bit, and we're going to be just kind of taking care of some issues that need to be taken care of, and we're going to be getting a little rest. And good old Wheels over at our studio is going to run the program, and for some days off, Gina's going to come in, and Sharon Hardy Mills is going to come in, and they do a phenomenal job. On Monday and Wednesday, it's going to be Sharon Hardy Mills, and on Tuesday and Thursday, it's going to be Gina Jameson, and I want to say this up front. God bless them for everything they do in trying to help us on this program. And then, of course, my itty-bitty buddy, and that's Wheels. Wheels, you are top-notch and number one, and we appreciate all your help also. Are you there?
I am, sir. I apologize about that. I was just listening to... Well, I was actually thinking about you and Deanne as far as, if you guys are going to be doing things around the house, stay safe.
We're going to be busy, but I got a favor to ask of you. I'm going to do a Les Schwab spot right now, and then I'm going to ask you if you can put on a real patriotic song. I've got to run to a meeting, and I need a little extra time to get there on the bad roads. So right after I do this, if you could take care of it, I'd appreciate it, okay?
Yes, sir, I can definitely do that.
All right, Wheels the best. Hey, listen, don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. You heard Randy just a few moments ago talking about your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with all the traction tires, all the snow and ice, muck and yuck tires. They've got them. Your tire chains, the best in batteries, and, of course, front end alignment, shocks and struts, and brake service. Absolutely the best in brakes. Please stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. God bless each and every one of you. And I mean that. And always remember on this program, the way things were are the way things ought to be. Wheels, old buddy, you take it away. Thank you.